North just can't wait to be king.
Today we're counting down our picks for the most notable relatives of prominent people who have yet to make their own independent mark. Number 10, Brooklyn Beckham, David and Victoria Beckham.
I don't really like taking pictures of pretty faces. I like old, interesting faces.
Brooklyn was first poised to have a football career like his father by signing as a youth player with Arsenal. However, after that and modeling both didn't pan out, he turned to photography. Brooklyn's name got him to jump ahead of seasoned professionals to work with Burberry, causing outrage from photographers. He then attempted to get a degree in the subject, but soon gave that up. Around this time, Brooklyn signed a publishing deal and released a book of his photographs, which, to mention the elephant in the room, wasn't well received. Next, despite having no training, Brooklyn developed a show about his chefing exploits, which was also criticized. Number 9, Al-Saadi Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi. When someone takes over as a dictator, they usually position their relatives into positions of power and influence. Well, that's exactly what Muammar Gaddafi did when he controlled Libya. One of his most interesting nepotism acts was installing his son, Al-Saadi, as a footballer, even making him captain of the national team and president of the LFF. Gaddafi's influence also allowed Al-Saadi to play in Italy. However, a failed doping test and his apparent lack of skills meant he wasn't successful. When sport dried up, Al-Saadi was handed various governmental positions. After the fall of his father's reign, Al-Saadi was eventually locked up in 2014. In 2021, he was released. Number 8, Henry Abrams, J.J. Abrams.
We have written a Spider-Man comic book. It's coming out in September.
In 2019, Marvel began promoting a 4 made from webbing. Fans immediately got excited that they were set to announce a 4th edition to Sam Raimi's trilogy. Instead, it was a countdown that led to the announcement that Henry and his filmmaking father, J.J. Abrams, would co-write a Spider-Man comic story called Bloodline. Fan enthusiasm deflated and largely morphed into frustration. There's speculation that JJ had little to do with it beyond lending his name, leaving most of the creative work to his son. To make it worse, the story wasn't well received by many Spidey fans. Number 7, Olivia Jade Giannulli, Lori Loughlin, and Massimo Giannulli. As the daughter of actor Lori Loughlin and fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, Olivia Jade was able to use her fame to gain celebrity through social media. But then, in 2019, a far more serious form of nepotism came to light when the Varsity Blues scandal was announced.
Federal prosecutors call this the biggest case of college admissions fraud that they've ever handled.
Wealthy parents had bribed a service to get their offspring into college through fraudulent means. Loughlin and Giannulli allegedly paid $500,000 to make their daughters seem like competitive rowers to the University of Southern California. Loughlin was sentenced to 2 months in jail, and Giannulli got 5 months. Number 6, Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks, and Rita Wilson. In 2023, when Tom Hanks was asked about the nepotism in his lineage, he dismissed the term and described acting as the family business. Some have been successful, like Colin. Chet, though, is another matter. His career has struggled due to various personal issues and controversies. On top of substance problems, there were abuse allegations from an ex in 2021. That same year, Chet mocked people who had the COVID-19 vaccine and dismissed the disease severity.
I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych!
Also in 2021, he released the rap White Boy Summer, which was accused of being rather problematic. Number 5, Joe Kennedy III, the Kennedy family. The Kennedy family has held some of the biggest governmental positions, including the presidency with John F. Kennedy. Joe seemingly followed a similar path to his great-uncle by becoming the U.S. representative for Massachusetts' 4th Congressional District from 2013 until 2021.
For one to win, another must lose.
Yet, in 2020, he ran for the Democratic nomination in the Massachusetts U.S. Senate election. Joe, who was criticized for not explaining why he ran, ended up losing to Ed Markey, becoming the first Kennedy to lose an election in the state. But his political career didn't end there. In 2022, Joe became the U.S. Special Envoy for Northern Ireland. Number 4, Hailey Bieber, the Baldwin family. Stephen Baldwin's daughter, Hailey, started working in the modeling industry and also married singer Justin Bieber in 2018. In 2023, when social media was awash with criticism about Nepo babies, Hailey decided to walk outside with a t-shirt that had the term written on it. Luckily, a photographer happened to get a snap. However, the critique of the stunt was brutal. Some even stated Hailey wasn't famous enough to be considered a product of nepotism. Yikes.
The funniest part is no one even mentioned her in the Nepo baby discussion.
Number 3, Max Landis, John Landis.
I'm not really a film school kid. I sort of am, but all the stuff I directed was just stuff I wanted to make.
As a teenager, he sold his first script, an episode of Masters of Horror, which just happened to be co-written with and directed by John. Next was an episode in Fear Itself. While John didn't direct it, he did helm another episode of the show. Max's creation also never aired. From there, he continued writing, making a YouTube channel, and acting occasionally. But in 2013, the wheels of his career began falling off after accusations of misogyny during an interview. Then in 2017, he was accused of assault. In 2019, 8 women came forward with stories about Max's abuse, causing his management team to drop him. Number 2, Jaden Smith, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. In 2006, Jaden was cast as his father's character's son in The Pursuit of Happiness. However, this wasn't the first big dose of nepotism for being the child of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. All of Us, a show co-created and co-produced by the couple in 2003, saw Jaden appear in a recurring role. After some more acting in the Smiths' co-produced 2010 film Karate Kid, Jaden starred alongside his father in the 2013 sci-fi movie After Earth. It was critically panned, with fury notably directed at the nepotism. Over the years, Will has rebuked accusations that Jaden was cast in The Pursuit of Happiness due to nepotism.
You gotta trust me, all right?
I trust you.
Number 1, Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. In 2022, Lily Rose drew the ire of the public by downplaying the advantages she received as a Nepo baby and implied the expression was sexist. She had risen in the catwalk ranks due at least in part to her mother's connection to the fashion world. So others, namely model Victoria Charity, were livid. Depp also compared her life to those who become doctors like their parents, seemingly equating Nepo babies' experiences to the years of training medical professionals undergo. Lily Rose has acted over the years, just like her mom and dad. In 2023, she walked back her comments, admitting that her childhood was different from most.
Getting your foot in the door is the whole game. Like, that's the most important part of the game.
Yeah, 100%.